Right now, at this very moment, someone you love is sitting alone, wondering if anyone still sees them. They're over 80 years old, and the world has suddenly turned invisible around them. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. After 80, life doesn't just slow down. It fundamentally changes in ways that shock even the strongest souls. If you're watching this, you either love someone in their 80s, or you're preparing for what lies ahead. Either way, what you learn in the next few minutes could transform everything. Welcome to Simple Elderly Wisdom, where we tell the truth with compassion. The first brutal reality hits like a cold wind: social invisibility. Imagine spending your entire life building respect, commanding boardrooms, raising families, and solving problems, only to have waiters talk over you as if you're furniture. Research shows that older adults increasingly feel dismissed in conversations, with their opinions politely ignored and their insights treated as outdated relics rather than valuable wisdom. This isn't gradual. It happens overnight. One day you're respected, the next day you're scenery. The pain cuts deep because you're still you inside, still sharp, still relevant. The second reality is even more devastating. Your social circle doesn't just shrink. It can completely evaporate. Over 33% of adults over 80 experience chronic loneliness, which increases mortality risk as much as smoking 15 cigarettes daily. Friends pass away, mobility decreases, and making new connections feels impossible when energy wanes. You go from a phone buzzing with lunch invitations to entire weeks speaking only to grocery clerks. The silence is suffocating, and the isolation threatens your very identity as someone connected to others. The third brutal truth attacks your independence. Your body stops cooperating with even basic tasks. Buttons become impossible puzzles, stairs turn into mountains, and getting up from a chair requires strategic planning. After age 80, muscle strength decreases dramatically, with studies showing that 80 years old is the inflection point for rapid decline in vital capacity, flexibility, muscle strength, and balance. 1/3 of seniors fall annually, with 20% of those falls causing serious injury. The devastating part isn't the limitation itself. It's the unpredictability and the constant fear. Reality number 4 strikes at your security. You may outlive your savings. 80% of Americans 60 and older have very few resources to pay for long-term care or weather financial emergencies. Medical expenses shoot up, inflation eats fixed incomes, and unexpected costs like home repairs or medication changes drain accounts you thought would last forever. Over 2/3 of adults 70 and older will experience at least one negative financial shock over a 9-year period. The shame of potentially becoming a burden crushes your spirit after a lifetime of independence. The fifth reality strikes at your very core. You lose the identity you spent a lifetime building. You're no longer the career professional, the family caretaker, or the problem solver everyone relies on. Age identity becomes a source of profound distress as your role in family and community shifts dramatically. Grandchildren stop calling you first with news. Family decisions happen without your input, and you're not consulted about important matters anymore. This identity dissolution affects 61% of adults over 80, creating existential depression that medications cannot touch. The sixth and most brutal reality haunts your quietest moments. You re-acutely aware that death isn't some distant abstraction. It's your next major life event. Every birthday feels like borrowed time. Every health scare might be the beginning of the end, and you attend more funerals than celebrations. Increasing age brings increased awareness that one's remaining lifetime is dwindling. The isolation intensifies because nobody wants to discuss it. Family members change the subject when you mention death, leaving you to carry this enormous weight alone. But here's where hope breaks through the darkness. These realities don't have to defeat you. You can reclaim visibility by becoming a storyteller who initiates conversations and develops signature skills that make age irrelevant. You can rebuild connections through consistent community involvement, embracing technology for digital relationships, and creating intergenerational mentoring opportunities. You can fight physical decline with micro-movement routines, strategic environmental adaptations, and preventative physical therapy that rebuilds functional strength. You can overcome financial struggles by auditing every available benefit program, monetizing your space or skills, and joining community resource networks where seniors exchange services. You can redefine your identity by becoming a family historian, building new identity pillars through memoir writing or volunteering, and finding third-act purposes that bring pure joy. Most powerfully, you can reframe mortality as your greatest liberation, creating "before I go" lists, mending relationships, and having honest conversations about death that bring profound relief. Your 80s can be your most authentic years because pretense falls away, revealing what genuinely matters. You've survived wars, losses, triumphs, and decades of chaos. This final chapter isn't about decline, it's about distillation. You're not fading, you are essential. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button right now. Which reality struck you hardest? Drop a number 1 through 6 in the comments and tell us why. Subscribe to Simple Elderly Wisdom so you never miss life-changing advice. Share this with someone over 80 who needs to hear they're not alone. Your wisdom